Tanyag at magandang abogado si Attorney Estrella Elamparo na dumaan sa madilim na kabanata sa kanyang buhay.
And then, fast forward to 2014, I had a very serious health scare. I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. After the halfway mark, sumalampak na ako sa kalsada.
Oh my God!
Sumalampak na ako sa kalsada. Tapos, naawa na ngayon mga dumadaan sa akin na runners. Ma'am, okay lang po ba kayo? Kailangan niyo po ba ng medic? Ganon.
Oh my God.
Sabi ko, pabayaan niyo lang. Parang, don't bother me. Okay lang ako dito. Because I was so preoccupied and obsessed with my work, with my career, and probably with material things. It was really a wake-up call. At that period, I think, was probably my unhealthiest period.
Ngayon, isang maliwanag na bituin sa mundo ng running.
Okay, you gave me only one body and one life, God. And you gave me the responsibility of taking care of two young sons and my parents. So, I need to take care of myself.
Tara, get to know Attorney Star. Be happy!
Come with me, put your hands together, ta-da, let's be happy. You will see tomorrow's brighter, ta-da, let's be happy.
Pilipino tayo, kaya lumalaban tayong nakangiti.
So ito ang opisina ni Attorney Star. Oo, nakikita ko siya palagi sa mga weekend run namin. Pero ito yung kanyang buhay, ang kanyang career, career. Bakit ka tumatakbo? Ilang taon ka nang tumatakbo?
Okay, medyo mahabang storya.
Sige
I
lang.
started in running quite late. So, people think na bata pa lang ako, or teenager pa lang ako, or college pa lang ako, tumatakbo na ako. That's not true. In fact, nung nasa UP ako, required yung PE, di ba?
UP ka rin.
UP Diliman.
What course?
Journalism.
Okay.
Mass comm, majoring in BA Communication Arts, majoring in journalism. So, I had to take 4 PE subjects. And one of the subjects I took for PE, because swak sa schedule ko at that time, was running.
Ooh.
Sabi ko, how difficult can running get? Diba? Hindi mo naman kailangan ng technical skills. Diba, tatakbo ka lang naman.
Yeah.
And the class was 7 a.m. Sobrang aga. So, kasi yun lang yung bakante sa schedule ko na binubuo. So, I took up running. Sa oval namin ginagawa. So, every morning, every I think Wednesday yung session namin. Wednesday and Thursday or Tuesday and Thursday. Umiikot kami sa oval, tumatakbo kami. We would be given a pace and a distance by our coach, tapos tatakbuhin namin yun. Sabi ko, kutsi ganito ba ako kalampa? Or sadyang talented lang yung mga kasama kong nag-running, dahil ang bibilis nila, tapos natatapos nila without walking. Mantalang ako, konti pa lang, hingal na ako na hingal. Tapos sabi ko, mag-survive ba ako nito? Siguro naman, papasa ako basta papasok ako every session. So, long story short, finals exam namin, 8 laps around the oval, the old oval.
8 laps?
8 ikot.
Oh
8
my
ikot.
God! Oh.
And we had to finish it within a certain time. So, nakita ko naman na may endurance ako kasi nabubuo ko na yung mga takbo namin nang hindi ako naglalakad. Pero sadyang makupad ako. Sadyang mabagal. Running doesn't come naturally to me, actually. Kasi medyo piki ako eh. So, I think it also impedes my form and my running economy. So, in other words, bumagsak ako.
Oh my golly!
So, sa buong klase namin, sa running, ako lang ang bukod tanging, hindi ko natapos yung assigned 8 laps within a specific time. Everybody else, even yung mga naglalakad, nakabawi sila at natapos nila. Sabi ko, I was stunned. Ako lang yung running na lang. And that was the only failing subject I ever had in my entire life. Law school, college, elementary, high school. Nakakatawa, diba? Bakit PE pa yung ibabagsak ko sa buong buhay ko? I flunked. That's how bad I was. So sabi ko, my God, I'm such a bad runner. Running is not for me. Running and I hate each other. So obviously, so sabi ko, this is it. So I had to take another PE subject the next sem just to complete my course. So that's how running and I started off. Very bad, diba? And then fast forward to 2014, I had a very serious health scare. Abogado na ako niyan. May mga anak na ako. Maliliit pa yung dalawang anak ko din. I was diagnosed with a brain tumor, which turned out to be benign, thankfully. But it was, of course, at first, I didn't know it was benign.
It's still a scare.
It was very scary because I was a single mom. My parents were both dependent on me, as well as my two very young kids at that time. So, sabi ko, pag nawala ako sa mundong ito, in 2 weeks, gutom yung buong pamilya ko. Yung mga magulang ko at dalawang anak ko ay walang kakainin.
Palagi kang matapang? Or umiyak ka nung panahon ba na yun? Ano yung... Just this scare, how did it affect you? And how long was it?
I'm sure I cried. But kasi nga, sabi ko nga, whenever people would ask me about my backstory, I did come from a well-off family. So, since birth, talagang the struggles, the financial struggles had always been there. That's why I'm thankful actually for that background, because if I grew up in a sheltered environment and I had all that I needed and there was not much struggle to contend with, siguro pag may mga nangyayaring ganyan sa buhay ko, it would have been more devastating. I would have been less, less resilient and less, I would have had less grit to deal with these problems. 2014 came, when the brain tumor came. Sabi ko, before that, Lord ha, kota na ako, ang dami na nangyari sa buhay ko. 'Di ba? Para ng telenovela yung aking buhay. Siguro naman kota na ako, wala nang mangyayari. I had a failed marriage. So, these strifes, inisip ko, mga pagsubok na I think I passed. I was able to recover. I was able to keep myself together. Pero nung dumating pa yung 2014, sabi ko, grabe naman, God. Grabe naman, kotang-kota na ako, di ba? Bakit may ganito pa? But then I realized, yun yung time din na medyo naliligaw ako ng landas spiritually. Because I was so preoccupied and obsessed with my work, with my career, and probably with material things. Yun yung time na spiritually medyo nalayo ako sa Diyos. Kinakausap ako ng Diyos. And I would know that it was God that I was talking to because I could feel His godly presence, His love, overwhelming love. Alam mo yun, hindi mo nakikita yung itsura niya, pero nadidinig mo yung boses niya at nararamdaman mo yung presence niya in your dreams. And that was what was happening. Siguro magkakasunod na gabi yun. And one of those nights na napaniginipan ko siya, sinabi niya sa akin, hindi mo kailangan matakot. Not in a particular language, Tagalog or English, but he was communicating in a way na ito yung pinaintindihan sa akin, hindi mo kailangan matakot about dying, about passing away, about getting sick again. Kasi alam mo, ito yung patutunguhan natin when you pass away. And he didn't show me a physical place. He just made me feel a feeling, so much happiness, joy, love, euphoria na never ko pang naramdaman. Na ganito kaganda, ganito kasaya, ganito ka-euphoric. That's how I would describe it. Na, my God, I can't wait to be here. I can't wait to go there and be with you. When I woke up, yun yung nasabi ko sa sarili ko, God, I can't wait. I can't wait to go there with you. Yung sinabi ko. So, alam mo yun, yung living a life na ordinarily takot kang mamatay. Diba? Ordinary people would be afraid of death. And living a life na you're actually looking forward to being united with your Creator because you just know how beautiful it is.
God.
Parang, it gives you a kind of courage. Diba? Ano bang kakatakot mo? A person who is not afraid of dying is indestructible. It was really a wake-up call. At that period, I think, was probably my unhealthiest period.
Why? What was happening then? Where
Because
were you at that point?
I was a senior partner in the law firm. So I after GSIS, I went to private practice. I became a head of litigation and senior partner of Divina Law. And like I was telling you kanina, if you're a senior partner in a private law firm, you would at least have 200 plus clients under you, or you're supervising the work of so many lawyers. Really, inevitably, you will absorb the problems, the stresses of all those clients. And it took a toll on my health. I was sedentary. Ito yung pinaka-worst na combination eh. So, stressed out ka dahil ang daming problema ng mga kliyente mo na nilulutas mo, diba? At the same time, yung utak mo gumagana, very, very hyperactive, pero physically, nakaupo ka lang, maghapon. Either may ka-meeting ka or you're in front of your computer typing away. So, not much physical activity. So, in other words, it took me to a place I was very unhealthy. I knew my weight wasn't good. I was never really tabain, but even then, I was overweight for my height. And I knew that because I had no exercise, really I was not very fit. I was not fit. So, 2014, and then I got diagnosed na, after the good news that it was benign, after the biopsy, and I eventually recovered, I vowed. Kasi tinanong ko sa doktor, sabi ko, Doc, si Dr. Gap Legaspi, my neurosurgeon, saved my life.
Love him.
Oo. You know him, right?
Yes.
Oh, he's currently the head of UBPGH, the best neurosurgeon in the country. Anyway, sabi ko sa kanya, Doc, ano bang cause nung nangyari sa akin? What did I do wrong? So, sabi niya, actually, you can't, there's no really direct, immediate cause for a tumor. It's mostly lifestyle. So, lifestyle, genetic, it can be genetic, but your lifestyle in general. But even people with the same lifestyle, sometimes may tinatamaan, meron hindi tinatamaan. But lifestyle is a big contributor. And then it hit me. Okay, I could have prejudiced the life and welfare of my entire family because I was reckless with my own health. So while I thought I was working for them, I was working very hard for them, yun pala, I'm actually putting them at risk by not taking care of myself. Diba? So, sabi ko, sige, I will turn a new leaf. When something like that happens, of course, you're jolted not just mentally, but of course also spiritually.
Absolutely.
It strengthened my faith all the more. And I resolved na, okay, you gave me only one body and one life, God. And you gave me the responsibility of taking care of two young sons and my parents. So, I need to take care of myself. Whenever you resolve to get back into fitness, pupunta ka sa gym, diba?
Yes.
So, pagpunta mo sa gym, syempre, ang una mong pinupuntahan, ang pinakamadali naman dyan, mag-treadmill ka, tapos you get a personal trainer to give you exercises, but usually running is part of it. Nagkataon naman, noong mga panahon na yon, nagsisimula yung running boom, rebirth of the running era, so to speak. So, may mga fun runs every now and then, and I had my best friend then up to now, who was interested in joining fun runs. So, we started about 2015, 2016, ganyan. Started joining fun runs. Okay naman, it was enjoyable kasi sa running, especially if you get into these mga fun runs, you meet a lot of people within the community and they're very, very, welcoming. It's a very welcoming community. So you enjoy every run you enjoy. You get a dopamine high after run. So, nawili kami ng kaibigan ko. Tapos, 2017, nabalitaan namin na nag-open yung slots for, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Dream Marathon. Oo. So, the Dream Marathon is a marathon specifically for people who never ran a marathon, who have never run a marathon before. For first-timers.
Dream Marathon.
Dream Marathon.
Buti
na
din
tawag
night.
dyan.
Was it pinasukan ba yun?
Yun. So, nag-resolve kami dalawa ng best friend ko na, sige, sasali tayo. Ang nangyari, ako lang yung nag-sign up. Sabi ko, bakit ganun? So, before then, ang pinakamahaba kong takbo was 10 kilometers. And even 10 kilometers was really a struggle already for me. Sobrang haba na sa akin ng 10 kilometers. Na parang unimaginable for me to be able to run 42 kilometers. But, so there was this opportunity na nakapag-sign up ako. I was supposed to be training for about 6 months prior to the actual marathon. It never happened, right? So, because I was busy with work, I was busy raising 2 kids, so I was supposed to be attending yung mga tinatawag nilang bull sessions, training runs, leading up to the marathon. And in fact, dapat meron kang final 32K run before the actual 42K. It never happened. So my longest run prior to the actual marathon was 10 kilometers.
Oh, what an
10 kilometers.
inspiration.
Diba? Parang suicide. Pero sabi ko, okay, ang cutoff niya, I think at that time, if I'm not mistaken, ang cutoff niya is 8 hours. So sabi ko, siguro naman, kahit lakarin ko na lang tong 42 kilometers na to, aabot naman siguro ako ng 8 hours. Pero syempre, hindi ko nilakad, diba? Dahil syempre, takbo yun eh. So, ginawa ko, tumakbo ko, nakaya ko hanggang first 21 kilometers.
Wow.
Halfway sa Nuvali ito. Pagdating ng 21 kilometers, ayun, parang semento na yun. Parang semento na yung binti ko. Talagang, lumabas na talaga. Wala akong training. Kasi, while I was able to endure, at least running up to 21 kilometers, my God, limping on both legs. If ever there is such a thing. Talagang, after the halfway mark, sumalampak na ako sa kalsada.
Oh my God!
Sumalampak na ako sa kalsada. Tapos, naawa na nga yung mga dumadaan sa akin na runners. Ma'am, okay lang po ba kayo? Kailangan niyo po ba ng medic? Ganun.
Oh my God.
Tapos sabi ko, pabayaan niyo lang ako, pabayaan lang. Parang, don't bother me. Okay lang ako dito. So, tatayo pa ba ako? Iniisip ko dito, tatayo pa ba ako? Or mag-aantay na lang ako ng medic? Pero sabi ko, 21 kilometers, kailangan ko itong tapusin.
Bakit mo kailangan tapusin? What was it?
Kasi parang,
Meron naman, di ba, DNF, did not finish.
Oh, did not finish.
Why did you have to finish it?
Oh, I felt that it's something that I signed up for, I committed to do. And therefore, like everything else in life, if you commit to do something, it's your responsibility to do it. I mean, unless you're dying. And I felt I was. but obviously, I wasn't. Parang hanggat makakaya ko, gagawin ko. Okay? So, I've been through worse, right? Parang nagka-brain tumor nga ako eh. Tinanggalan nga ako ng tumor biniyak nga yung ulo ko para tanggalin yung tumor. Ito pa kaya.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
feeling ko ganun. So, anyway, after siguro mga 20 minutes ako nakasalampak doon, motionless, sabi ko tatayo ako. So, kahit parang semento na yung binti ko. So, I limped my way through the 21 kilometers basically. Na run, walk, konting run, konting walk, konting hinto. Talagang, I was limping the entire 21 kilometers. I finished, and of course, it was such a euphoric, glorious feeling. As you can imagine, I was crying at the finish line. But guess what? Because of the extreme pain that I was experiencing right after, I went straight to Medical City. Dahil sabi ko, I've never felt this kind of pain. Of course, yung brain tumor, I had a headache. But this one, parang my whole body was like revolting.
Talaga?
And painful.
Was it, I can't even imagine the pain. Is it muscle? Is it breathlessness? Is it fatigue? How would you describe it?
It's more, kasi once you stop running naman, you regain your breath, diba? Your heart rate somehow normalizes. Pero yung katawan mo, parang, alam mo yung parang kumikirot. Hindi lang kumikirot eh, parang nagsa-throb.
Ito pala yun.
Nagsa-throb yung buong katawan mo, especially your lower body, because running is lower body basically. Nag-throb and pain. After tests were done, sabi ko, kailangan ko lang ng pain reliever, uwi na ako. Ayaw nila akong pauwiin. Sabi niya, no, because your blood test show na meron kang mild rhabdomyolysis. So, it's an actual condition, apparently, especially if your body is not used to doing a certain degree of physical activity, tas binigla mo siya. And you become dehydrated. Napuno na, kumbaga, naipon yung lactic acid sa katawan mo, hindi niya kagad na flush out. So, nag-breakdown yung muscles mo. So, all these things happening, it can be fatal. So, sabi sa akin, if you're going to leave this hospital sa emergency, hindi, kailangan mo mag-waiver. So, I had to be confined overnight. They had to rehydrate me overnight. Kailangan daw, hindi pwedeng yung mga ordinary electrolytes. It had to be intravenous rehydration. And I had to stay in the hospital overnight. So, again, sabi ko, isipin natin, this is my second bad experience with running, diba? And bumagsak na ako dati. Tapos ngayon naman, na-hospital ako. Pero for some reason,
What's wrong with you?
for some reason, alam mo ba, I was in the hospital bed the next day, nung medyo nakatulog na ako, nakapagpahinga na ako. Alam mo, nangiisip ko, what's the next race I can sign up for? Parang, inexplicable, right? And that's why I believe in runner's high, eh. Because there's this inexplicable urge to want to run again despite the enormous difficulty of running. While you're doing it, you feel like dying.
I know, right?
While you're doing it, parang, bakit ka ba ginagawa to? Parang utang na loob, diba? You're cursing yourself. Pero, pagkatapos, you have that compulsion to do it again. because you feel that high. Probably, nearing 100 na. Nearing 100 na.
42. Kaya ba?
Kaya. And at my age, like, I'm now 54, right? And I told you I started very late in 2019. I was, how old was I? I was in my late 40s.
5 years ago.
Yeah, that was 5 years ago. So
My age, 49.
Yeah, 49. So kaya. Of course, I'm not as fast as the young ones, right? But I think endurance-wise, kaya kong makipagsabayan sa mga bata.
Kumusta buhay mo ngayon in general? Before running, it was stressful and you reclaimed it, obviously. Kumusta buhay mo ngayon?
Stress never goes away, right? In life, we always have different sorts of stresses. Pero what I find different before running and after running, honestly, I think I'm more capable of overcoming stress and inducing myself to relax more. Why? Kasi meron akong magandang meron isang podcast akong napakinggan na inexplain niya to and sobrang nag-resonate sa akin. People who engage in endurance sports, for instance, ano bang pinagdadaanan mo? Bakit mo pinapahirapan yung sarili mo? That's a common question. Bakit mo ginagawa sa sarili mo yan? Hindi mo naman kailangan gawin. Hindi mo naman kailangan mag-suffer, diba? But this American podcaster had a very good explanation. Chosen suffering, which is what endurance sports is. You're basically choosing to suffer. Chosen suffering prepares you for unchosen suffering. Because unchosen suffering will happen. Like your parents will die, your loved ones will go, your relationships will break down. So there will always be unchosen suffering. But if you regularly or consistently elect to do hard things out of choice, voluntarily, when something like that happens, when an unchosen suffering happens to you, you're better equipped.
So everyone should run?
If, sabi nga ni Eliud Kipchoge, the great marathoner, a running world would be a happier world. If everybody gets into running, I think we'll probably have less wars, less conflicts. I think so.
And that's the other side of the star of running. Be happy!